My question to you is this. Think on it for a moment as we've read the words of the book of Esther. What's missing? What's missing, Marcel? Let me ask it another way. Who's missing? Who's missing in the story? God. We just read the first 9 verses of the great book of Esther. God is not once mentioned. God doesn't appear. So we say, well, what if we keep reading the book? Read the whole book of Esther. God is never mentioned once. It's a godless book. God never appears. God doesn't speak. No prophet speaks on God's behalf. No angel shows up. The heavens don't open and God delivers a word personally. There are no miracles. There's nothing supernatural. There's no mention of Jerusalem and the temple and the presence of God. There's no mention of the priesthood and the sacrificial system for sin. There's no quoting of other books of the Bible. There's no giving of God's laws. No one repents. No one prays. There is no action from God or to God that is revealed anywhere in the entirety of the book of Esther. It's this stunningly curious omission. How many of you, this sounds like your life? How many of you, this sounds like your life? You're like, I have never seen a miracle. I've read about them. I've never seen a miracle. God's never showed up in that way in my life. How many of you have never heard from God? You've never gotten a dream, a vision, an audible word. You've never gotten visited by an angel. You're sick and you haven't been healed. You've prayed and it's not been answered. You've looked and it's not been accomplished. How many of you, that's your life? It feels like the story of Esther. Dirty rich men rule the world. I'm grinding it out and God doesn't show up. And it leads to all kinds of questions. God, do you even exist? Or is Xerxes really God? Is this the best we have? God, if you do exist, are you paying any attention at all? Are you just a deistic God? Are you an absentee landlord? Have you been on vacation and do you not care? Or God, do you lack the power to do anything? Is your glory not commensurate to the Xerxes of the world? Is your throne not above their throne? Do you not see? Do you not care? Will you not act? How many of you in your dark, desperate, desolate moments have either uttered that or thought that privately? Let's be honest. Where is he? Women are being abused, money is being misspent, and mere men think they're gods. Where's God? Where's God in the story of Esther? He's silhouetted in the book, friends. Any of you seen a silhouette? See, a painting is in great detail. A silhouette paints a portrait through absence. God appears in the story of Esther, but he does so silhouetted. He's not there. So it is with a silhouette. When you see it, you can't make anything out. And then all of a sudden, you look at the absence and it reveals the presence of something that you missed at first glance. God is silhouetted through the book of Esther. And might I submit this to you, friend? God works in Esther not through his visible hand of miracle, but through his invisible hand of providence. Because see, we know that history is not circumstance, happenstance, or chance. It's governed by providence. That God is sovereign and good, that God rules and reigns over all peoples, times, and places. That God is in the details of history. That God is working everything out according to a plan for his glory and our good. And for those of you who have felt like the story of Esther feels, I want you to know that God is at work in your life as well. You may never hear his voice. You may never see his face in this life. The angel may not come. The healing may not occur. The prayer may not be answered yes. The voice of God may not thunder down. But God is active and present and at work in the lives of his people, even those who are far away from him as they were.